Hi everyone, welcome to Demo Works Podcast. My name is P.A. Clark, bringing you another episode on celebrity beauty, right product, wrong place. Now remember, you may not be the first to know, even though it's your face. So, beautiful face, not so beautiful work. Now this is what I think, and remember, I wasn't there. I don't know if anything was done. However, my assumption being, when the product is placed on a celebrity's face, but it's the wrong product, bad things can happen. Now, there are 15 different fillers available in the United States. And out of these 15 different fillers, each of those fillers have different characteristics that does different things in the face. One size doesn't fit all. One filler isn't for everyone. One filler isn't even for every location in the face. And you're going to see some examples of this as I look at Sandra Bullock, Meg Ryan, and Demi Moore. Three iconic figures that we all know and we all love. Now, if it were up to me, using my diamond touch technique, these are some of the things I would do based upon what I'm seeing here. And our first celebrity we're looking at is Meg Ryan. We all know Meg Ryan from that show, You've Got Mail. Was that the 90s? Amazing, beautiful girl. And within the first few shots that we have of Meg Ryan, we have kind of chronological from that first point on that we were introduced to Meg Ryan to today. And what you can see is, well, the one thing you can see is that volume loss has occurred. One attempt to bring back youthful beauty is to increase the volume. This is an error. This is a mistake because it's not just volume loss. It's facial structures and facial features that have lost as well. So let's look at the first shot on Meg Ryan. We can see that her under eyes are hollow, and this was in the very beginning. So it's natural, it's normal to have under eye hollows. You look at her cheeks and the lateral side of her face, you've got nice volume. As you go forward to the second image, to the right, you'll notice that the volume is still there, but there slowly changes in that lateral volume coming in slowly. Why do we know this? Because at this time, fillers weren't a big thing, or fillers weren't even around. So these changes you see on the second shot is not representative of fillers done. It's just a representation of time going forward. As we come down to the third, which is the bottom left, we see there's a lot of changes post-treatment, post-age. And what's happening is the eyes have gotten a little lower. Under the eyes have dropped a little lower. Nasolabials have gone deeper. Chin, lateral jaw edge, and the cheek has all changed. And this has changed probably because of some work that was done maybe in the wrong place to restore the volume but not actually making the mark. You see, we can restore volume if we understand where the volume is lost. And not everyone will have the eye for that. The volume lost in the face is sectional volume. It is not volume throughout the entire face. So we don't want to use a soft or a low G prime. G prime stands for the softness of the filler. We don't want to use a soft or low G prime that expands outward. You know, the face is not a balloon. The face is not a beach ball. So when you expand the face too much, you become too puffy. And if you expand one area too much, it becomes irregular in the face. If you look at the last photo of Meg Ryan, we see that things are looking a little better. Either Meg has not undergone as much treatment, or she's found someone else that does a better job. So I can see that her cheeks are under eyes. There's still some work to be done, but it looks so much better than 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. And this is a perfect example of the right product in the wrong place. Let's look at our next celebrity. We're going down now to Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock, again, beloved by everyone. We look at her first image on the left, and we can see she's got that nice, rich, full, youthful volume. Then to the right, this is approximately 20 years apart. So approximately 20 years apart, we can see that almost all of that full youthful volume is gone, but a lot of the matured volume is there that keeps her beautiful. So she went from cute to matured beauty, and that's how it should be, because beauty changes. We can't restore ourselves to our previous self, but we can keep looking as beautiful as possible with having the right job done. On the top right hand side, we can definitely see that some of the cheeks, some of the jawline may have been done. She has retained the squareness of the chin, which works for her. That is her face. And it doesn't look overdone. It just looks pleasant. It looks nice. It looks fine. We can see that hollowness and the contour within the lower cheeks. I wouldn't change anything on Sandra Bullock in that top right hand shot of her. As we go down to the lower picture, this is one of our most recent pictures that we grabbed off from online, and we can see that more of that volume has been lost. So when you compare the top right image to the bottom image in the lower face, we start to notice some laugh lines occurring and more hollowness also occurring within that section. That is where expression technology comes in. That is what gives you some volume without the width. You see, some fillers expand way too much. And if a filler expands way too much, we get too much width within the face. If there's too much width in the face, it distorts the face looks spongy, the face looks overfilled, and it's just not an appealing look. Plus, you're taking away that individual's natural appeal. So if I were Sandra Bullock, if Sandra Bullock walked into my office and said I want to have something done, I really wouldn't do much for her. There's always something to be done, but I just wouldn't do too much for her. I would definitely work on the lower and the upper minimally. Almost nothing. So Sandra Bullock, very good, amazing. And next, we're going to look at Demi Moore. Demi Moore, amazing face, very attractive, no doubt one of the most beautiful Hollywood icons there is. So we're going to start with an image of her on that top, on that left, which is Demi Moore, I believe in 2000s, forgive me if I'm wrong on that, but around that time versus approximately 10 years later. And again, look at the volume change in the face. Look at that volume change between the cheeks and the jawline. So that volume means that this region, which is a collection of about 7 different fat pads, has shrunken slowly and dropped slowly, lending to more of a narrow face. She's still gorgeous, she's still beautiful, but she's got those laugh lines and creases occurring in this region. With that being said, again, filler would work here. One other point is if you take a look at her temples, the before and the after here, her temples are much more hollow, which means that her eyebrows are being lost on the edges. When the eyebrows are being lost on the edge, that means that some filler or biostimulator can definitely just increase that width slightly to give that volume back. Remember, it's sectional volume that's lost. It's not overall volume. Her forehead still looks great. Her cheeks look great. It's that temple, lower face, and I can see characteristics of probably fillers running along the zygomatic arch, which is this bone here. That's the start of Demi Moore having some unusual changes to the face. Let's go to the next image where we have Demi Moore 1, 2, and 3. Obviously, number 1, much younger age, fullness in the face, a lot of that baby fat is still there. And again, look at under the eyes. Under the eyes are hollow. Not very hollow, but the youthfulness of the entire face, you don't notice under the eyes. Let's look at the second image in the middle. This is where she's gotten a lot more hollow in those cheeks. Now again, I wasn't there. I don't know if it happened, but this could be buccal fat removal. Buccal fat removal is something we're going to talk about in our next episode, so make sure you watch that. When this buccal fat removal has occurred, which I believe it has occurred here, it sends that unusual gaunt appearance in this region. Also, if you take a look at her jawline, it's filled, but it's also rounded. So now she's lost that straight jawline into more of a curve onto the jawline. And that curve tells me that the round product was used. So let's go back to how the fillers work. Fillers bind to water and expand. Some fillers migrate, traveling slowly outward, expanding everything. Other fillers stay where you place them and they really don't travel, expanding other things. If you put the round filler here, it may look great the first week, maybe the first day, but after, it rounds the entire region and it becomes distorted. And if you do take a look at Demi Moore now, with that buccal fat atrophy or removal and the fillers in the lower jaw, you can see this distortion from maybe having the round product in those areas. That is it for our three beloved celebrities, Meg Ryan, Sandra Bullock, Demi Moore. Stay tuned for more celebrity dissection into the features. I want you to click on that button below and subscribe for more relevant information on beauty and Hollywood.